Hello everybody, and welcome to my tutorial for Unity 3D or 2D. So today I'm just going to be teaching you how to make a 2D just basic movement scripts. So as you can see, here's your default layout with the inspector, game, scene, assets, and hierarchy. So the first thing you're going to do is create a game object that's a 3D object, sorry, and create a cube. So you're going to create a cube right on the screen, right there, and there it goes. So you're going to use the green yellow arrow to drag it down, and as you can see, you have the movement around, which is the green and red arrows in 2D, and then you can click this in the top. So this is move around. This is like, I believe it's rotate, yeah, and then this is scale. So we're just gonna scale it out to the side, and you can see in your game view that's what you're gonna see. So anyway, so you can click it once and then click it twice to rename it, and rename it as like ground. Okay, so after that, you're going to want to create another game object and create just a capsule, and that's going to be our player. So that's a fine size, and we'll just move it over out of the camera. So right there. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is check if this has a box slider, which it does, and make sure is trigger is not clicked, because if it is, the object will go right through it. Same thing with this. Has a capsule collider, so if we click play, then it should just sit. Oh, of course. So this is probably set to is kinematic. So wait, let's just check that. Maybe we should add that then. Oh yeah, I forgot. You actually have to add this. So you add a rigid body, and apparently you can't. So let's just delete the capsule collider, and then add a rigid body. Okay, so you have a rigid body. Make sure it's not kinematic, because that means there's no gravity. Fixed angle is okay, and then let's add a capsule collider, or just a box collider. That works as well. So box collider, make sure it's not is trigger. And there we go. That should work now. It should just fall onto the platform. But it's kind of weird. Sometimes if you remove something and then you add it again, it will work. I'm not sure why that is. So yeah, see, now it just sits there. So make sure to get out of the play tab, otherwise it won't save any work that you do. So you get out of that, and if you see, as you play, it'll fall down. Okay, that's good. So, okay, now you're going to want in the asset folder, you're going to right click, create C# script. And we're going to call this move, and then enter. And we're also going to want to create a folder for scripts. Okay, now you're going to take the move and drag it into there. So there you go. Inside scripts, you're going to have the move. Okay. So just now, because I don't want to do it later, just drag the move onto the capsule. So there, that's it. So the capsule is the parent to move. Okay, so now once you're here, you can click open, and then there's mono develop opening up. Well, that's weird. Mono develop didn't open up. Well, if mono develop opened up, I don't have mono develop opened up, which is kind of a problem. But I can pretty much show you what it would be if it did open up. So I'll just do it in Pages, because that always works fine. Just new document, blank. Okay, so we have the regular stuff. So using Unity engine. So if you want to, you can just skip this. I'm not actually going to do it. I'm just going to go to void start. Okay, and then void update. So that's a problem. I'll have to figure that out, but for the sake of this video, I'll just start there. So you don't want to delete anything that's here already. Just leave it how it is, and you'll probably be able to follow along anyway. Okay, so you have that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create, well, actually you don't have to create any variables for this, that's why this is probably a good example. So what we're going to do is transform. Okay, so transform, sorry, we don't want to put that there. We're going to put it in void update because we want it to run over and over again as fast as the computer can do it. Start will only run it once. So we're going to go like that. So void update, and then transform, which if you see here, transform, so if you click on this, it's a transform. See? As you can see right here, transform. So transform dot position. So the position is, so you can see position right here, because that's what we're going to want to be moving. And then after that, you can do transform.position. And then you're going to want to set it for, just for an example, you'd set it for right. So you can do plus equals transform dot right. And then you're going to want to do times, so that's shift 8. And just for this purpose, I'll do spaces. And then input, so that's like the keyboard. Input dot get axes. And then we're going to want to put like what type of direction we're talking about. So given that we're looking for a directional, we would put horizontal because we're just going to do left and right now. So horizontal. And if you do that, so this would work, but it would move very fast, and you'd have to put that on it. But since we don't want it to move as fast as the computer can do it, we're going to want to slow it down into regular time. So then you have to do another times, shift 8, and then you're going to do time dot delta time. And a lot of these like specific words and like strings will show up as you start to type them, so you can always look for that, and if you get really good, you'll just know when they're going to show up and just click it. So that would work. And then we're going to want to multiply time.delta time because that will be very slow. We're going to probably want to multiply that by a number, so I'm going to say 4 because I've actually done this before. And then you have to end every statement or something like this with a semicolon. Okay, so that would work. And then if you want to, this is not necessary, but I like to do this. So in the console, you can see what's happening, the console down here. So I just went 2 lines down in the void update and said if, and then you're going to want to do else if, so like that. And then the if statement, I like to put input dot get key down. So that says if the keyboard senses that you click a key down. So you don't hold it, you just click it down. And then you're going to want to do that. And then inside of that, you type key code. So that's the key code. And then you're going to want to type which key you're talking about. So the D key, because we're talking about going right. So if you click the D key down, what do you want to print in the console? So for me, I would say something like just print it to the console. This wouldn't actually show up in your game at all. So you'd say debug.log. That's how you print to the console. And then I'd put like something like go right. So that'll just print in your console. It doesn't matter what you put inside the parentheses. Just in this case, you would just want to see when you're going right. And so if you make all your variables in these, so there's something called a variable, and you can put that inside of void start. So if you do like, so there's two kinds. There's public and private. So public means any other documents can see this variable, so you can reference them. And private means that only this document can see it, so only this part of the document. So if you do public, and then you do like a variable for like jump, public float, which is just a number with a decimal, whereas integer is without a decimal, and then there's string, which is words, and there's character. So yeah, so if you use variables in other documents and you'd want to do jump, you could also do if, like if click the W key or the up key or space, then it'll jump. So I'm just going to copy and paste and just change the values, which you don't have to do. This is completely optional. I just think it's really cool to see it show up as you're doing it in the console. Keycode that down, and then here you're going to put the same thing as here, just go left. So there you go. That's a simple code that'll let you go right and left because it's horizontal. So this will let you go right and left. So you can go right and left, and it'll print to the console, which is pretty cool. So now I'm going to show you how to jump also. And so what I'm going to do is, after this, I'm just going to do another if statement and just copy all of this. Debug go right, and just change this to jump on like space. So there you go. So jumps when you go space. This will work on any Unity program, like different updates. So like I've tried this on Unity 4. I think about 2 or 4.1 or something, all the way up to 5.02. So there you go. And now there's also another file that I did, and this one was a jump file, and I'm going to show you what these do afterwards. So that was the move file, and now I'm going to show you a jump file. So still not going to write any of the Unity engine using system collections. Make the ground shake.